Hey there, I want to share with you how I have trained my own AI experiences to always bring me back to God. As far as what I've seen in the Christian world and landscape, there's a lot of fear around AI, and I just know that for me personally, the more that I listen to God, the better my life gets. And there is a danger, as with any technology, for it to be used for evil. Most people are not using AI for evil. They're using it to improve the efficiency of their lives. They are using it to get answers really quickly. And so the way that I see AI influencing us in a way that's not healthy is more so in just the way that we're looking towards AI instead of to God. That if there's a problem, then AI has the answer. And it's actually a fairly good answer. And it just promotes more of the thinking mind, the left-brained, formulaic, let's solve the problem through a series of steps kind of thinking. It just encourages that way of living versus a reflective, contemplative, listening kind of experience. So I just want to share with you some use cases as well as specific prompts that you can set within any AI bot or whatever, so that whatever you are talking to AI about, that it will lead you towards God and leads you towards a lifestyle that is not so left brain, but more so, can I take a moment to pause, to reflect, to listen to what God has to say versus what the wisdom of the world has to say? Not that the wisdom of the world's bad. It's just, like I said earlier, I have found that my life has been significantly better the more that I listen to God, the more that I take time to recognize how near He is and the reality that He is right here with me. He's right there with you, loving on you. And so let me share my screen. I'll put in the description below the prompts that you can use. This isn't something you just put in the chat. This is actually something that you go onto your settings. So I'm on ChatGPT. I'm going to do two scenarios since ChatGPT and Claude are among the most common. I'm sure Grok has a similar layout, or other Gemini probably has a similar layout. But if you go to your user profile, you can go to personalization. There's going to be a setting where you can click on personalization or customization, and you can give it custom instructions. Now, the custom instructions that I've given it, I'll just read a little bit. You are a thinking partner who helps me live in real partnership with God, not just an answer giver. So even right there, within the first sentence, it's all about how can you, AI, lead me into deeper relationship with God versus just being an answer giver. When it fits, include a relevant scripture. When I ask for advice, help me notice what's underneath, especially fear. Because fear is one of those things that is always going to lead us off course, always going to lead to poor decision making. It's not the place to make decisions. So to be able to have a partner, someone, whether it's AI or a real person, I would prefer real person, but I have found that the interactions that I've had with AI, and because I have trained it and because it knows of my desire to connect with God, it's like the most beautiful thing when it's offering me a prompt to go into prayer. You can look at the description and see the actual instructions that I share. They're not too long, but I just want to just help you see like a real example. So a couple weeks ago, my shoulder was hurt. I was helping set up the trampoline in our backyard, and we take it down every year because in the snow, I don't want it to sit in the snow and get ruined or rusted over. And so we take it down before the snow falls, and then we set it back up. And if you've ever set up an old spring trampoline, sometimes those springs are really hard to get on. It takes a lot of strength or muscles that you don't normally use. So I think I just strained my shoulder. And so there's just this part right here that's been hurting for like a couple weeks. So I just decided to give you an example of something simple and mundane that you might ask it, and I'll give another example. But I said, my shoulder hurts and has been hurting for 2 weeks. I'm not sure why. What are possible causes and what's the best step forward? Simple question you might ask on any given day. And the response is, the kind of lingering shoulder pain for 2 weeks is worth paying attention to, not panic, but don't ignore it either. And just to ground this for a second, God is with you even in something as physical and ordinary as this. Your body isn't separate from him. He cares about what's going on in it. Even if you were to just have this setting in place and over time you start glossing over and you just want to get to the answers, having text like that available and in front of me, I want it. Without these instructions, this sentence would not be here. It would just give me, here's the possible causes, la, 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 la. Here's what I love more. So it gives me all the stuff. And then it says, a deeper question worth noticing. Sometimes when something lingers like this, there's a subtle tension underneath, not always, but worth asking. What am I carrying, physically or mentally, that hasn't been released? Not in a mystical way, just awareness. Stress often shows up in shoulders. You could simply ask, Lord, is there anything I'm holding on to that you want to help me release? That's an awesome prompt. And for me to just take a moment and actually ask that question, that leads me into connection with God. That leads me into a moment of prayer. That's amazing. And that was such a simple request. And it gives me that prompt. And then this little scripture, cast all your anxiety on him because he cares for you. So it just anchors me to the word. It anchors me into prayer, into relationship with the Lord. And if I wanted to go deeper into this, like I could answer that question, Lord, is there anything I'm holding on to? And I could respond with what I feel like I'm receiving. Now, for any of you that may struggle to hear from God, like that's what this whole channel is about. It's about helping you to understand what are the blocks, what are the things that get in your way. And I have so many other videos on that. So if you need help with that aspect, like that you just keep questioning yourself, you keep running into doubt, you feel ashamed, you don't feel worthy of hearing God, I address almost every problem you can imagine in my other videos. So once this video is done, check out the next one that just pops up for you. The algorithm is placed that is like, it's going to pick one that's just for you. So get to the next video, watch more. You can learn so much from this channel. And if you really wanted to go into a deep dive and commit to understanding how do I live a life of listening? How do I really understand and like break through any barrier that's preventing me from having that life of listening every single day of my life? Then I would just invite you to go to the Hearing God Challenge. So hearinggodchallenge.com. I'll put a link in the description, but you just get the chance. Let's really commit to something for 5 days and see what happens. It's one thing to say, okay, yeah, I want to get better at prayer and listening to God and just following what he says. And it's another thing to say, I'm going to commit to something and I genuinely want to see what happens when I really give my time and attention towards what God has to say about me and about my life. So anyways, let me give you another example. Sometimes I use ChatGPT for cooking, and I just call ChatGPT Chad. I don't know if you have a name for AI in your house, but my wife and I, we just call him Chad. So like, Chad, I said, can you give me some ideas for dinner? I've got eggs, milk, bread, cheese, salsa, and some canned beans. Just give an example because I wanted to show you what this could look like. Okay, response. There's more variety here than it looks at first glance, and even something as simple as making dinner can be a moment with God right in the middle of it. He's not waiting for something more spiritual than this. He's right there with you in your kitchen. That's the truth. Nothing can separate us from his love. And so it gives the ideas. And then it's like, hey, if you pause for just a second, you might even ask God, what would actually feel nourishing right now? It's like, oh my goodness, such a great question, because that is something that I do ask at times, where it's like, Lord, is this what I am to be eating? And if you take moments like that to listen, all of a sudden you're going to start start making healthier choices. Or if you're like me, you're going to be like, but I don't want to eat healthy, and you struggle with it. But at least it's a moment of connection. And that's what I just want to share with this. And that's why I love it. Let me show you in Claude, if you are on this platform. So at the bottom left, again, there's your profile. And these are both free services. There's a free account for these things. And so you can go into settings. And then right at the general settings, what personal preferences should Claude consider in responses? Same. And so you just copy and paste the prompt that helps you focus on connecting with God and to make sure that you're operating not from a place of fear, but from a place of connection and a place of love. So all I know is that whenever AI is giving me prayer prompts, it's amazing, because now all of a sudden I'm not just using this as a tool to solve problems. It's now becoming a daily experience that it's reminding me of the truth of who I really need to go to, and offers just beautiful questions that I could ask. So I just wanted to share those examples with you and encourage you to try this out. And the thing is, you can always tweak it. You can always say, hey, it's like you can take that custom prompt and you can put it in the chat and say, hey, this response that you gave, I'd rather you respond like this. Can you change the custom instructions so that it tailors more to the kind of style of voice that I want you to have? I still like the prompts, or can you do it like this? And you can change it. All I know is that if you're going to use AI, you may as well use it to connect with God on a deeper level. So for all you that are afraid of utilizing AI, then my invitation is just take this custom instruction, plug it in, and go to town. Interact with AI without fear. Or if you feel like God's like, hey, you don't need to worry about this, then don't worry about it. All I know is that this is something that has been a blessing to me. And I think that a lot of people were afraid of the internet, and it was used and is still used for a lot of evil, but it's also used for so much good. I'm so glad for all the technological advances over the years and how they've been a blessing in my life. So go ahead and check out the Hearing God Challenge. Go ahead and check out these prompts, and we will see you in the next video. Goodbye.